few weeks ago, I went over to a friend of mine's house with his wife and kids and for supper. And I got through the front door, he greeted me and immediately said, "Hey, can I see your cell phone?" So I handed him my cell phone, and then he left me, went about 5 rooms over, put the cell phone down, and came back over to me. He says, "Well, come on in, have a seat." I said, "What did you do with my phone?" He says, "Oh, you'll get it at the end of the night." So I think he's telling me I have some sort of problem. But anyway, the first step is to admit that you have a problem. But anyway, but I read online that we as adults can look at our phones upwards about 75 times a day. And we all know how annoying it can be to be sitting at a meal with somebody and they're constantly checking their phone. But we have such a habit of always needing to know who's messaging us, what's going on in the world. We want to be the first to know. And we pay hundreds of dollars a month sometimes just so we can be so distracted all day long. Jesus says to us, "Repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but God what belongs to God." How can we give ourselves fully to Him? Be concerned with what His will is for us, and in prayer and giving ourselves to others. If 75 times a day we need to be distracted enough to check something that has nothing to do with the will, but is nothing other than distraction. And by the way, checking our phone is nothing but it's just about us. Who is contacting us? Are we in the know? Has nothing to do about our relationship with God, our relationship with others, loving God and loving neighbor. That doesn't matter. It's all what's happening with this thing that we're paying for each and every month to be distracted with. But then you turn on the television and you see the Comcast commercial, and it drives me crazy. You know, the family of 4, the family of 6 sitting down for a meal, and the husband and the wife, they're on their phones, all the kids are on their phones, but then the wife gets the grand idea. I'm going to pause the Wi-Fi, and then we're all going to finally be able to talk, and it's supposed to be funny. But we've been to restaurants, we see the same things. Everybody's on their phone. Brothers and sisters, it's sick. We are so consumed with what's in our pockets, rather than who's in the room with us, or who we're breaking bread with, or what else is going on in our world, being present to the other. Giving of ourselves to God, what belongs to God, has to do with how we treat and how we communicate with and how we're present to our brothers and sisters in the same room with us. They are God's presence in our world. So by loving them, we are loving God. So it's a very big challenge for us. And for some of us, it might not be the phone, that might be distraction. It might be getting into gossip. It might be getting into all sorts of other things and finding whatever in our life that's going to distract us from just living in the present, being quiet, and letting the Lord speak to us. What is our will for us? And who am I called to serve now? We might be missing opportunities all over the place, because 75 times a day, we could be entering into something that's nothing but a distraction. It's just amazing that we pay so much for such a distraction in our lives. It's unreal. So as we receive the sacraments, as we hear His word, we look to see what might be distancing ourselves, or might be blocking us from quieting ourselves enough to realize the will of God in our lives. Repaying to Him what He has given us. Because again, everything He has given us is gift. And if we say, well, I know I'm at church for 45 minutes on the weekend, isn't that enough? No, He wants all of us. And again, 75 times a day, times 7 days a week of checking your phone, 45 minutes in church really doesn't seem like much. We take those baby steps to know exactly what His will is for us and do His will here on earth. Giving to God what is His due. May that be our challenge for this week.